If you love gravel riding, then welcome to paradise. The Okanagan has climbs that burn, descents that thrill, and views that stop you in your tracks. I've spent a few years exploring this region, and these are the rides I keep coming back to. So let's dive into the Okanagan's best kept gravel ride secrets for 2025. Okay, I'm going to reveal these gravel rides in reverse order, so you're definitely going to want to watch right until the end of the video. The best Okanagan gravel ride for 2025, ride number 4. The Kettle Valley Rail Trail ride from Penticton to OK Falls and on to Vaso Lake is a lesser-known gem. It's quieter than Myra Canyon, but it delivers big on lakeside views, desert landscapes, and a peaceful ride through wine country and wildlife habitat.
I love this ride!
Mama bear and a couple of little baby cubs. I'm not sure I want to get this close, but they are standing right above the trail here. If you're looking for a gravel ride with big lake views, a little bit of solitude, and just enough dust to make it feel like an adventure, this ride is your best choice. Today we're riding from Penticton to OK Falls and beyond to Vaso Lake, right along the historic Kettle Valley Rail Trail. This ride usually starts at the south end of Penticton, where the KVR trail is smooth, flat, and perfect for an early warm-up ride. This is a ride ideal for all levels of gravel riders. You'll ride right along the shore of Skaha Lake, views on your left, cliffs on your right, and maybe a paddleboarder or a wakeboarder. Once you pass OK Falls, the trail starts to get a little wilder. It's winding through dry pine forest and open sagebrush. This is classic South Okanagan. Hot, exposed, and beautiful. This section of trail can be narrower and a bit more rugged and a little more challenging, but that's part of the magic. You'll ride above the lake, often alone, with just the sound of gravel under your tires and the wind cutting through the canyon. How are we doing, Hoobie?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Beautiful day. Look at that lake.
How much bear scat have we seen today?
Oh, we've seen a lot of scat.
So, unfortunately, this is where our ride ends. There used to be a little bridge here, but it's obviously long since gone. If it were there, we could actually continue riding all the way down to Oliver. Hey, someone's been in for a little dip. The total distance from Penticton to Vaso Lake and back again is roughly 42 kilometers. There is minimal elevation gain, as it's mostly on rail grade trail. The trail surface along Skaha Lake is hard-packed gravel, ideal for beginner gravel cyclists. Once you pass OK Falls, the trail does tend to get a little more challenging.
There are lots of rattlers.
The gravel
in this area,
is a little looser.
but I don't think this is a rattler. But I'm not going to try and find out. Do you want me to make it move, Jer?
Bring food and water with you. OK Falls does provide a nice little respite along the ride. There are lots of amenities there just in case you run out of food or water. Just know that Vaso Lake is a protected area. You will definitely come across wildlife. We've come across snakes and certainly a lot of bears, and you will see a lot of bear scat. This ride is definitely not as famous as Myra Canyon or the steep climb up to Chute Lake, but if you're looking for peace, big skies, and a side of wine country, this is the ride for you. Penticton to Vaso Lake is one of the best days you can spend on two wheels. This was an old cannery or something back in the day. The best Okanagan gravel ride for 2025, ride number 3. Gravel riding doesn't get more breathtaking than this. Welcome to Myra Canyon, a place where engineering, nature, and adventure come together in one of the most unforgettable rides in British Columbia. This is the Kettle Valley Railway at its most dramatic. For most people, getting to Myra Canyon means driving from Kelowna and parking in the Myra Canyon parking lot. You can, however, access the canyon from Chute Lake, which is what we have done on a number of occasions. This is a more challenging ride. It turns the ride into a much longer day. But again, you get to see more of the Kettle Valley Railway and the amazing engineering that went into making this railway. For the most part, the Kettle Valley Railway Trail is in great shape. However, if you're riding from Chute Lake, there are areas where the trail does get a little challenging. If you're starting your ride from Myra Station parking lot, which is about 30 minutes from downtown Kelowna, the trail follows the original Kettle Valley Railway route across 18 wooden trestles and through 2 tunnels suspended along the cliffs of Myra Canyon. The round trip from the parking lot is roughly 24 kilometers. There is little elevation gain, and in the canyon itself, the trail is in perfect condition. So this is a ride for all levels, beginner through experienced. Right from the start, you'll feel it. The canyon opens up on one side, sheer rock walls on the other, and the trail winds gently forward like a ribbon through the wilderness. It's really hard to believe this was once a working rail line. The Trestles were originally built in the early 1900s, and they were almost completely destroyed in 2003. What you see today is remarkable restoration. Handrails, beams, and decking were all rebuilt with care to preserve the original structure and the feel of the Trestles. Riding through Myra Canyon, you really do see the scale of this place, the work it took to build it, and the fragility of it all. At just over 12 kilometers in, Ruth Station marks the end of the maintained trail. It's the perfect spot for a snack or a photo before you turn around and return to the parking lot. The return ride is just as spectacular. You get a new angle on everything you saw on the way out. If you're riding from Chute Lake, this is going to be a longer day. Your ride is going to turn into about a 70 or 80 kilometer ride. Make sure you bring water and snacks with you. There are no amenities along the rail trail after you leave Chute Lake. You do get these amazing views of Kelowna.
Getting the drama?
You don't need to ride 100 kilometers or climb epic hills to feel something profound on a bike. Sometimes it's about pausing in the middle of nowhere, halfway across a wooden bridge in a canyon, and realizing this is why we ride. The best Okanagan gravel ride for 2025, ride number 2. Some gravel rides test your legs. This one stirs your soul. We're riding one of the most iconic and accessible sections of the Kettle Valley Rail Trail, from Summerland to the first Trestle bridge over Trout Creek.
Komodo dragon. Run over it.
No,
we didn't.
We're starting just a few minutes outside of Summerland, where the KVR trail is flat, family-friendly, and absolutely gorgeous. This section is perfect for beginners, families, or anyone just looking to spin their legs through the South Okanagan's rugged beauty. This is a ride for all gravel riders, beginners and experts alike. From the start, the trail gently winds through dry pine forest and open bluff, classic Okanagan terrain. If you look to your left, you'll catch glimpses of Trout Creek. You're actually riding along the edge of a railway grade that was blasted into the rock over 100 years ago. In some places, you'll actually see some of the original rail still on the ground. This line was part of the Kettle Valley Railway, built in the early 1900s to connect the interior with the coast. It's been commissioned since the 1980s, but the trail still lives on, repurposed for bikers, hikers, and history lovers. This is an ideal place for gravel ride. Again, one of the things I love about this ride is you can ride as much or as little as you like. This is another out and back ride from wherever you're starting. And like all parts of the KVR, the grade on this trail is relatively gentle, at most 2%. So this is perfect for beginner gravel riders. Okay, how are we doing, Hooby?
Good.
Good ride?
Yeah, so far so good. A bit of a headwind.
Yeah.
All uphill.
It'll be fast on the way home.
It'll be speedy on the way home.
The Trout Creek Trestle spans 76 meters across and stands nearly 40 meters above the canyon floor. This bridge is one of the tallest surviving railway trestles in British Columbia. It's impossible not to feel a sense of awe as you're standing on this trestle bridge. The wind funnels up from the canyon below, the structure creaks softly underfoot, and all around you, just silence, forest, and that Okanagan sky. So again, this is a ride that you can turn into a long ride or a short ride. There's very little elevation gain. Yeah, it's kind of rough in here. KVR at this point it's a very gentle climb. The KVR is in pretty good condition along Trout Creek, and this is, again, ideal for all levels of gravel riding, beginner and expert. Just make sure you're bringing water and food. There aren't any facilities out along the trail. This is a ride you will definitely remember. If you're really keen, you can ride the KVR all the way to Penticton, but that then turns into a pretty epic ride. You can also finish off this ride with a little bit of single track as you ride back towards Summerland. The best Okanagan gravel ride for 2025, ride number 1. Welcome to one of my all-time favorite gravel rides in the Okanagan. That's the ride from Penticton to Chute Lake on the historic Kettle Valley Rail Trail. This is a ride that mixes amazing big views, some incredible tunnels, and just the right amount of grind to make your legs and your heart feel alive. Now, we have started this ride from Summerland. For most riders, this is a ride that starts in Penticton, just off Vancouver Avenue, where the KVR starts its gradual climb into the hills. For the next several kilometers, you'll be pedaling on what used to be the old railway bed, which of course means that the grade never really gets too steep. The grade remains pretty consistent at about 2%. But don't let the grade fool you. This is a ride with a slow burn. You will climb several hundred meters on your ride towards Chute Lake. What I love about this ride is you can ride as much or as little as you like. This is an out and back ride. So for beginner cyclists, the ride often will start in Penticton and maybe end at a little tunnel just above Naramata. This is roughly about 22 kilometers out. Little Tunnel was blasted through solid rock over a century ago, and stepping out onto the lookout on the other side, you get one of the most iconic views of the valley and Okanagan Lake. It's time for a quick break, have a little bit of lunch, and take a deep breath. The tunnel often offers you a beautiful reprieve from the summer heat. Well, we're at a tunnel right now. Having lunch. From Little Tunnel, the trail gets quieter and more remote. You'll see fewer cyclists on the trail. You'll come across another tunnel along the way to Chute Lake, and that's the Adra Tunnel, which has been closed for decades and only just recently reopened to the public. So Hubert actually rode through this tunnel in the 80s. So I don't actually know when the tunnel collapsed, but it's been closed for quite some time. This is one of the rock ovens that the workers used to cook their food as they were building the KVR in the early 1900s. You'll oftentimes see bear scat on the road and occasionally come across some deer. The farther you get from Little Tunnel and the closer you get to Chute Lake, you may find that your cell signal fades, you're gaining altitude, so the air is going to get cooler. This is where the KVR really starts to feel quite wild. The quality of the trail does deteriorate a little bit in places. It gets rougher and occasionally a little sandy. So there are occasions where you may have to get off your bike and walk, but that is really all part of the adventure. Around the 40-kilometer mark, you will reach Chute Lake Lodge. And believe me, there is nothing that beats a nice cold drink from Chute Lake Lodge. So once you get to Chute Lake Lodge, you've covered roughly 40 kilometers. You've gained roughly 700 meters in elevation. Make sure you're bringing water and snacks for the ride. You may even want to bring bear spray. We have on occasion come across bears on the KVR. If you're so inclined, you may want to book a night at Chute Lake Lodge. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Great ride.
We made it.
We survived.
Because they built a new barn. We drove past it, right?
Yeah.
Originally built in 1922, Chute Lake Lodge served as a bunkhouse for loggers at a nearby sawmill.
The lodge has definitely evolved over time, adding cabins, a restaurant, and even some glamping facilities. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you think there are other rides I should have included, please leave a comment.